Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we dive into the latest global news and trends. We're going to start with a complex and sensitive topic, the ongoing conflict between Israel and Lebanon. The situation is precarious, with both sides engaging in military actions and diplomatic efforts. According to recent reports, the Trump administration has been pushing for direct talks between Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and Lebanese President al-On, with the goal of reaching a peace agreement. However, many experts believe that this approach may be flawed, as it ignores the underlying issues driving the conflict and could ultimately weaken Lebanon's sovereignty. Hezbollah, a powerful Shiite militant group in Lebanon, has rejected direct negotiations with Israel, instead calling for indirect talks. The Lebanese government is facing intense pressure from the U.S. to participate in these talks, but many Lebanese citizens are skeptical, fearing that their leaders may be coerced into accepting unfavorable terms. The conflict has already resulted in significant humanitarian suffering, with civilians caught in the crossfire and many forced to flee their homes. The international community is watching closely, as the situation has the potential to escalate into a wider regional conflict. It's essential to approach this topic with nuance and understanding, recognizing the complex historical and cultural context that underlies the conflict. We'll continue to follow developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. The question remains, can a lasting peace be achieved through these talks, or will they ultimately exacerbate the situation? We'll be exploring this question and many others in the days to come. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into a complex and intriguing story that highlights the tensions between two African nations, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. At the center of this diplomatic battle is the leadership of the International Organization of La Francophonie, or OIF, which represents over 320 million French speakers worldwide. The current Secretary General, Louise Mushikiwabo from Rwanda, is seeking a third term, but she's facing a challenge from Juliana Lumumba, a former culture minister from the Democratic Republic of Congo and the daughter of the country's independence leader. This contest is unfolding amidst continued clashes between Congo and the Rwanda-backed AFC M23 rebels in eastern Congo. It's essential to understand that the OIF post carries significant diplomatic weight, covering education, cultural policy, human rights, and economic cooperation. Both countries are throwing their weight behind their respective candidates, with Congo emphasizing its demographic and cultural significance as the world's largest French-speaking country. Rwanda, on the other hand, is framing Mushikiwabo's bid as one of continuity, highlighting her record of strengthening and modernizing the OIF. The organization will choose its new leader at a summit in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, on November 15th and 16th. As we explore this story, it's crucial to recognize the complexities of international diplomacy and the nuances of regional relationships. We must consider the perspectives of all parties involved and avoid taking sides. The outcome of this election will undoubtedly have significant implications for French-speaking Africa and beyond. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring you a developing story that's been making headlines around the world. The hantavirus outbreak, which originated on a Dutch cruise ship, has taken a new turn, with 16 additional people in the U.S. being monitored for symptoms. According to reports from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, these individuals were passengers on a flight to Johannesburg and had been exposed to someone known to have been infected. This brings the total number of people being monitored in the U.S. to 41, including 18 passengers from the cruise ship, who are currently quarantining at special facilities in Omaha, Nebraska, and Atlanta. It's worth noting that there are no confirmed cases in the U.S. as of yet, and health officials are working diligently to ensure that all Americans exposed to the virus are being monitored and contacted. The CDC has emphasized that the risk to the public remains low, but it's essential to stay vigilant and take necessary precautions. As this story continues to unfold, we'll be sure to keep you updated with the latest developments. In the meantime, let's take a moment to appreciate the tireless efforts of healthcare professionals and officials working around the clock to contain this outbreak. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.